Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me again, Going to Blue Dude. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I do college football videos every single day. Today is Saturday. It's game day. I love it. This is what I live for. So throughout the day, I'll be making videos for each time slot and the best games that I see happening. So we'll start with the noon games. The first one that might be worth watching is LSU at Mississippi State. Both of these teams are 2-1. LSU lost at UCLA to start the season, but since then they beat McNeese and Central Michigan. Mississippi State's kind of the opposite. They opened the season by beating Louisiana Tech and NC State at home. And then last week they lost at Memphis. LSU is the 1.5 point favorite. It's pretty much a pick'em. I'm taking Mississippi State. Here's why. LSU does not have an identity on offense, and their defense is nowhere to be found. Even though Mississippi State doesn't have a great defense, at least they have an identity on the offensive side of the ball, and it's at Mississippi State. I'm taking the Bulldogs to beat LSU, and that's going to make LSU's record 7-7 since winning the 2019 National Championship. Not headed in a good direction. LSU fans will be scratching their head today after the Mississippi State loss. And Coach O could be on the hot seat early in the 2021 college football season. Next game that I like is a Big 12 game. Texas Tech at Texas. Texas Tech is 3-0. Texas is 2-1. Texas is a 9-point favorite. Texas Tech started off the season by beating Houston, then Texas Southern, then FIU. Texas had a big win in their first game, beating number 23 Louisiana, but then they went on the road to Arkansas and got romped. And then last week, they beat Rice. I know a lot of people are taking the Red Raiders in this situation, but it being in Austin and Texas is having a lot of confidence now, and they're playing with a chip on their shoulder. I think Texas comes out and makes a statement. Not only beats Texas Tech, but they also cover. I think people are putting too much into that win over Houston for Texas Tech. So in this game, I'm going to take Texas big. This next game is a little under the radar. Kind of surprising. SMU 3-0 undefeated at TCU 2-0 undefeated. TCU 9.5 point favorite. This is the battle for the Iron Skillet. SMU has beaten Abilene Christian, North Texas, and at Louisiana Tech, and TCU has beaten Duquesne and Cal. I do think TCU gets the win in this game, and it's all because of Zach Evans, their running back. This guy is one of the best running backs in the nation. Why are people not talking about him more? TCU also has a competent quarterback in Max Duggan, and he likes to use his legs as well. TCU is going to have a great running attack, and I think TCU will run all over SMU. I'm going to take the Horned Frogs big over SMU. Another pretty interesting noon game, Missouri at Boston College. Missouri 2-1. Boston College undefeated. Missouri beat Central Michigan. Then they went on the road and lost to Kentucky, but only by a touchdown. And then beat Southeast Missouri State. Boston College has beaten Colgate, at UMass, at Temple. Yes, they are on a roll. They have a lot of momentum, but they lost their starting quarterback. Missouri is a 1-point favorite, and I'm taking Missouri because of the quarterback situation. And listen, Boston College does not have a hostile environment, so I don't think the crowd is going to play a factor in this. I think Missouri could win by 2 touchdowns. I'm taking the Tigers. And finally, the biggest noon game, and to me, it's actually a head-scratcher. Why is this a noon game? Number 12 Notre Dame against number 18 Wisconsin in Chicago. Wisconsin is the 6.5 point favorite. Notre Dame's coming into this 3-0. Wisconsin's coming in 1-1. Notre Dame won on the road at Florida State, but a very bad Florida State in overtime. Then they beat Toledo, and then they beat Purdue. Wisconsin started off the season with a home loss to Penn State, 16-10, and then beat Eastern Michigan. Here's the thing with Notre Dame. I know now that we've seen how bad Florida State is, that win on the road doesn't look all that impressive. In fact, now everybody's thinking, hey, they should have blown them out. And I agree with that. But with Notre Dame, they get better and better throughout the season. They looked shaky, but a little bit better against Toledo, and then they looked much better against Purdue. I think this is a game where Notre Dame looks even better and pulls off the upset against Wisconsin. I think both of these teams have great defenses, but I think it's going to come down to Notre Dame, Kyren Williams. Notre Dame will be able to run the ball, and this is going to decide who has the better Wisconsin quarterback, because Notre Dame's starting quarterback, Jack Cohn, used to be the starter for Wisconsin. So it's going to be Jack Cohn versus Graham Mertz. Now, Graham Mertz can be spectacular at times, but Jack Cohn is more consistent, and that's what Notre Dame needs in this game, consistency. That's why I have the Irish winning this game. Jack Cohn's consistency and Kyren Williams being able to run the ball on the Badger defense. I have Notre Dame winning this in a low-scoring, close game. Give me the Irish. I'm going to say 24-17. I'll be back to talk about the 3:30 games later on this afternoon. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.